So today on Sports File, we're going to look at the season. I think this is the lost Montreal Canadiens season because Ken Dryden, not say he quit the team, but he offered him a contract, and he felt they were lowballing him, and he decided to article for most of the 73-74 season. He left in training camp and didn't come back until the 74-75 season. Now, Montreal had won the 1973 Stanley Cup on the backs of Dryden's good performance against Chicago, a high-scoring game. But Montreal's replacement for Dryden were two players that weren't going to win Montreal too much behind the pipes, and Wayne Thomas, Michel Larocque, and a very, very, Civ Michel Place. It was a strange time for sure. Now, Montreal entered again that 74 campaign, hot off a really strong 72-73 playoff when he knocked off the Sabres, the Flyers, and the Blackhawks. A rough goal for sure. Now, Montreal lost 24 games in 74, which is a rare thing because that was one of their biggest losing seasons. Now, this campaign was their 65th in team history. They did qualify for the playoffs, but lost in the first round to the Rangers, who basically outplayed them on defense. Now, again, Dryden shocked the world as he sat out the entire campaign. He had won the Vezina Trophy to help lead Canada past Russia in the Romantic Hockey Summit of 72. Despite his bargaining power, most players in Dryden's position would have simply accepted what the Habs were giving him. Dryden bolted during training camp, while general manager Sam Pollock fumed. Now, Wayne Thomas replaced Dryden as the starting goaltender and appeared in 42 contests. Frank Mihaljevic, who left the Habs for the WHA at the end of the season, well after the playoffs, led the team in scoring with 80 points, while Yvan Cournoyer led the squad in goals with a big 40. Now, the Montreal Canadiens could have easily played the Toronto Maple Leafs, but a late season, drop allowed the Rangers to go ahead late in the campaign. Now, this year, Montreal went 45-24-9 with a plus 53, so they're still scoring goals. And goal scoring in the league was up this year. Now, this campaign, he went 2-4 against Boston, undefeated against Buffalo, 3-0-2, 3-2 against Detroit, 4-1 against the Islanders, 4-2 against the Rangers, 2-3 against Toronto, 4-1 against Vancouver, and on the other side, 2-3 against Atlanta, 3-1 against California, 2-1 against Chicago, 3-1 against the Kings, 4-1 against Minnesota, 2-1 against Philadelphia, undefeated against Pittsburgh, and 3-2 in St. Louis. Ironically, ladies and gentlemen, they had a little better home record than road record they had at home. They won 23-12-5 on the road, which was a strong write-up. Now, the Canadiens qualified for the playoffs in second place, setting up a matchup with the third place Rangers. Now, the Rangers, again, were facing Bunny Larocque. We'll get that in a second. Now, they started October with a very strong record, and he won 5 of their first 7 games. Now, November was kind of hit and miss. They lost 4 games in November, and but it had a 4-game winning streak to end the month to move to 13-6-2. But December for many was their best month. They went from 13-7-2 to 19-7-6, but they were stopped in a Boxing Day game by Toronto, where they destroyed Montreal 9-2. Now you can see they were giving up a lot of goals. Now in January, they won 4 straight, twice, and ending February they were well placed with only 11 losses. But from then on, the defeats started to add up. They had 5 in February, including 3 and 4 games against beatable opponents. But in March, it gets freaky, ladies and gentlemen. They lost 3 straight at the end of March and ended the campaign not pretty well. A lot of close games. They were 37-17-8 at one point and ended up 45-24-9. Now, ironically, there was a preamble that we saw. Last game of the season at New York, they lost a rough 6-4 defeat to the blue and white. Now, entering the playoffs, ladies and gentlemen, the Rangers were not favored. But the first contest at the Forum was really devastating for Montreal. Steve Veckers and Bruce MacGregor opened with a 2-0 lead for the Rangers, with Dale Rolfe making it 3-0 in the second period. Shutt made it 3-1, but then Brad Parkey's first of the postseason allowed the Rangers to steal the victory. Eddie Giacomin saved 23 of 24, while Bunny Larocque stopped 27 and 31. Now, Game 2, Montreal got back into reality after Bruce MacGregor opened at 12:51 in the first period to give the Rangers an early lead. Shutt scored in the second, followed by a natural hat trick by Cornway at 18:11 of the second, 11:53 of the third, and 14:51 the third. Now, Giacomin was peppered for 31 shots, while Larocque made 18 saves on 19 shots. Now, back in New York, Montreal led 4-0 before even the Rangers got on the board, with Pete Mahovlich, Steve Shutt, and Cornway's 4th and 5th of the postseason, and Stemkowski and Rattel scored in the third period. Now, here it gets really, really freaky, ladies and gentlemen. In Game 4, where a lot of people in Montreal was going to wrap it up, they led at one point 3-1 and then collapsed. Steve Shutt opened the scoring at 46 seconds of the first, with Ron Harris replying. Then Peter Mahovlich made it 2-1 after 1. Now in the third, at 2:56, Montreal went up 3-1. From there, it was all Rangers as he scored 5 with Rod Gilbert, Teddy Irvin with 2, Bruce MacGregor and Pete Stemkowski in empty net. And Savard did score 13:57 to make it 4-4, but again, MacGregor had to win. Now, the big kicker for the Rangers putting dirt on the Habs was in Game 5, as Bruce MacGregor was a hero again. He had tied the game at 12:43 to first after Henri Richard had scored early, but in the third, Murray Wilson made it 2-1, but he scored with 16 seconds left to send it to overtime, and Ron Harris, the big overtime winner. Now, the afternoon game, Game 6, it was a terrible result for Montreal. Richard scored at the 9:15 mark in the first period, and Stevie Shutt made it again 2-0. But then Bruce MacGregor, again, one of the best series he had as a playoff performer. He's 6th of the postseason, 8:41, followed by Bill Fairbairn, Jean Rattel, and Stemkowski scored 2 empty net goals. And Larocque stopped 22 of 25, with Giacomin 22 of 24. So you might as well say that Montreal could stop all the key players of the Rangers, but he couldn't stop Bruce MacGregor. Now, what this is ironic of Bruce MacGregor, ladies and gentlemen, he had jumped to the WHA for the 74-75 season, but he played in Team Canada 74 despite not playing in the WHA at the time. And with Edmonton, he had 2 good back-to-back seasons. Ironically, ladies and gentlemen, he was assistant GM for the Stanley Cup winners 5 times. And the Alberta Sports Hall of Famer, I still ranks as one of the most underrated players, money players of all time. And the combination of 213 goals in AHL, most for Detroit. He played in numerous key playoff series. And ladies and gentlemen, the big problem with Bruce, like I said, I don't think he was appreciated enough with the Rangers because he did so much in the playoffs. He's only scored 19 goals in the postseason and 6 came in 13 games, all of them against Montreal in 74. So, ladies and gentlemen, if you like what we're doing here with our Montreal Canadiens Tribute Podcast, let us know with a like, comment, subscribe, or share.